It's Awaken with Joylyn, and today I just wanted to show you that I wrote another book. Yes, I have this one, Get Me Off This Damn Ride, and now I have written another one on religious trauma, and that is in the process of getting edited. I'm really hoping that process goes a lot better than the first one. It's not really that hard to write a book. It's not. I had a friend say that he would help me do it. And then the process of doing it, you just have to learn how to format it and upload it to Amazon. And then they actually just print your book to order. And so like anybody can do it. They even give you free numbers of the numbers on the back, whatever that is. They give you free on Amazon. So it's not that bad. It's not really that hard to do it. So I'm like, I got a lot to say, people. So I'm writing books, and I actually have a half of another one done. So, anyway, it's been a fun process, and it's been so healing. He told me that if you write it down, it will help you through this process of awakening. You will see things on paper differently. And it did. I was like, in victim mode, like this one was mean to me and this one was so mean to me, but then when I wrote it and all my anger came out in that first book, I was like, holy crap, I must have been really scary looking when I was going through that, because I was so mad. And I was waving my lightsaber around and just started whacking people on the heads instead of really using it correctly. We're all like Jedis out here trying to take down the dark side, So anyway, I feel like that. I feel like a Jedi just swinging my lightsaber, and now I'm figuring out how to direct it in the right path instead of just whacking people over the head. So I'm learning and getting there. Don't do it great every day. I still get spicy. And I've swore more now than I ever have, because, you get angry. I don't like to be lied to. And then I feel like then you find out you've been lied to your whole life about everything. You get pissed, but that's good pissed, because that's the first step to waking up, and you get angry and you're like, no way, this is not right. And so that righteous anger is needed. So if you do get angry, I would suggest not to stay as angry as I did for like 5 or 6 years, but that is good. That's a good thing. That righteous anger, we need to be more angry. We need to be more angry that our kids are being hurt. We need to be more angry that we're getting taxed to death. We need to be more angry that all of these systems are holding us in poverty. I mean, there is abundance out there. If there's enough people that believe that this way of thinking, that we have abundance already and that God's already providing us, we will get it. But the problem is we can't get enough people to even believe that, because they're so stuck in thinking that we're in lack. So it's not coming in until we get enough people to realize that we are free, walk out of that cell. We don't have to put up with this. We literally can overthrow our whole government. If you really know, I was taking that biblical citizenship classes for a while, and we're like, the judicial system is the weakest branch, like literally the weakest, and they treat it as the end all, they have the last say. No, that's not the way it is. That is not the way it is when you really learn. They are the weakest branch, and we should be able to overthrow them at any moment. And when you start realizing that, and we're like, oh, we're not even following our, own rules that we have. And then they're just making shit up. And, so anyway, but it is hard, because you have to get enough people believing that we are free. We can be, we have the ability to be free, and we have the ability to live in abundance. But the mindset of people is so opposite of that. The fear of lack. I got to pay my mortgage. I got to pay my credit cards. I mean, if enough of us got together and said, screw you, credit cards, I'm not paying that interest rate anymore, like, it would change. We would literally figure out how to do it differently. But everybody's staying compliant to the systems, because of fear of getting your house taken away, getting this taken away, You know, these are the systems we're bringing down right now. Like, enough of us are awake, so it's slowly happening, but we're trying to get more people to just believe positively. That's why I tell my sister all the time, I'm like, they're mocking us with those Christmas movies where they say, if we just have enough spirit, we can get Santa's sleigh off the ground. And I'm like, that is true. Like, if we get enough people that have enough spirit to believe that we are free, sovereign beings that don't have to comply with this shit, it's going to change so fast, you know? And so it's really interesting how indoctrinated we all have become in what rules that I said fools, what fools we have been, really, to realize that we have to live like this. I mean, when you get Jesus in your heart, you're like, oh my gosh, I see so clearly now what they were doing, and God and Jesus, and what they are here to do, and what they really want for us, and the abundance that they want. Like, and whether you believe it's in within you, because like I said before, the Jesus within is you changing yourself. Okay, that's the main thing that I have to do. You have to change the Jesus within, the microcosm. So there's as within, so without, you know, as above, so below. So within you, that's your Jesus within. You have to get that right first, and then it projects out into the world. And then when enough people believe in Jesus, and then, you know, everybody's believing in a higher vibrational state, because everything is vibrating matter. That's a whole nother fun rabbit hole that I love. But that's why everybody's trying to like vibe high. And that's why you say cannabis, you get high, because you literally get high. You literally vibrate higher when you're on cannabis. We have endocannabinoid systems. They didn't teach us this in nursing school. They didn't teach us a lot of shit, you know, that we really need to know. And so when you're vibing high, you know, and then keeping us all in these lust and sexual stuff, and I mean, sex can cause enlightenment with two healed people. It can actually cause you to become more enlightened. But if with all of our traumas, if we're bringing that trauma, and you're having relations with people with a lot of baggage and traumas and that are not healed, you're just kind of compiling that, and it's not good. So it can be good or it can be bad. And that's why they do a lot of manipulation with our genders, because they know that's what the first thing that's going to throw us off balance is manipulating our genders, our sexuality. And then that throws off the balance within us, the male and feminine, masculine and feminine energy. And then we're just doing some weird crap and then projecting that out into the macrocosm. So our microcosms screw up the macrocosm, right? So that's why the earth is being crazy right now, because it's the macrocosm of how we're feeling. We're so stressed and in survival mode, and having to try to obey the systems that are, keeping us enslaved. And so you're feeling more pressure. I feel like I'm in a pressure cooker half the time, And so it's hard. But I did write this religious trauma book because I'm so passionate about that, because the biggest control system that I can see right now is religion. And I'm seeing people, every time I turn on a New Truther or whatever, they're hammering religion right now. So it is they call it deconstructing religion. So, they're not going to destroy the churches, but they are going to, they're going to revamp them. They're not going to look the same. They're going to look more like storehouses, like the Bible said they should be, not like a business, not like, it's going to be where you're a single mom. If you can't afford food, she's not going to go and throw her $10 in a plate hoping for Jesus to, is stressed out, which you shouldn't be given, that stressed out anyway, because that's transferring energy. And she's not going to go and give her last $10 to a pastor or a church when she can't even feed her family. You're going to go to the storehouse, you're going to go to the church, and you're going to be blessed with food. Like, You know, they're going to start teaching about what Jesus really came back to do, not just that we're awful sinners. And, I mean, the churches are so horrible to sinners. They really are. And we're all sinners because we have to be, because if we live here, if start learning about energy and the sine wave, and that we're fallen here to be, have the human experience and to, play on this playground that we jacked all up, God gave us that opportunity to do that, right? But so when we do that, then we all become sinners. It's not that it's anything bad. It's just being in this reality. It's what it is, But then, you get in a church and they're just like, do not sin, do not do this. And if you have, if you're an alcoholic, some of those alcoholics are closer to God than most churches. And why? Is because when you get in an altered state of, that's why psychedelics, when you get in an altered state or have a near-death experience, or somebody like I had sleep paralysis. So I went into that spiritual realm. I saw different dimensions or some. I felt that disconnect. I actually would see my body. I was having a hard time getting my consciousness back into my body in the mornings, and I went through it for years, and I didn't know what it was. I just assumed I was taking too many Xanax. But no, there's other people that have experienced this, and when we sleep at night, our consciousness goes, like, it doesn't sleep, that goes, and they call it like in the astral realms, but then it comes back into our body, our avatar, in the morning or whenever we wake up. And I could literally see my body and struggling, almost like I was in a coma, and it was terrifying. Like I hated that feeling. So I feel like I'm more open to this stuff because I have experienced it. And that's why you see a lot of people with near-death experiences are really full on, like, hey, because they got a glimpse of God. And a lot of the people that are addicts, they got that glimpse of God. I mean, it wasn't a great way through, drugs and alcohol, but they got a glimpse, and then nothing feels right here. So everything they try to do, like a 9-to-5 job or, keeping things together, it doesn't feel right because your body wants to resist it because it's not of God. It's the God of this world. You can see through the veil. And so then you sit in the churches and they're so just torturing, just torturing the sinners. And now that I understand that, I'm like, we should be loving on these people, not hating them, not, see them as that, homeless person that doesn't want to get a job. Like, we need to be loving on these people because a lot of them are more weak than what we are. And a lot of them have a lot of good knowledge. And it's just sad that we have put all of these people in categories like, oh, you're this and oh, you're that, and that causes more disconnection. So this is what Jesus came to talk against. Like, he wanted to sit down and I have sat down with so many homeless people and people that are just the best people, and I'm not saying that rich people aren't. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that when you have to surrender and you no longer feel like you have to you start really understanding the verse where it says you're in this world, but you're not of it, because you see that you're not of this world. You really do. And there's so many now that are like, we aren't from here. I don't know where we're from. I want to go home, because everything in this reality, we're spiritual beings. Our consciousness does not die. So energy does not die. It's only transformed. So, there's so many people that are like waking up to I don't want to be here. In the spiritual community, you get a lot of that. Not so much in the religious, because they're still following their rules and their doctrine, and they're still thinking that their control system is the way out, and it's actually the trap. So you don't get a lot of that. But when you get to really fully meet a enlightened person, and they will not want to be in this world. They will not want to have a 9-to-5 job. They will not want to, everything will just feel yuck to them, And, but then we have to see, like, okay, you get to a point where you have to integrate, and you're like, okay, flow with life. And then you start taking the ups and downs a little easier, and your roller coaster smooths out a little bit, or you learn how to ride it out. And so anyway, I did write this religious trauma book, and I think it's going to help so many people. My sister wrote it, and she's like, or she read it, my sister did, and she said, Joy, you need to get this out because this will resonate with a lot of people, because it's going to explain why so many of us turned away from religion. I mean, some of us never felt accepted in church, and a lot of us saw through the bullshit. I mean, when I go to churches now, I can see through it. I learned to read people so well now, and read energy, that if they're crying, fake crying, and be like, God, Jesus, I mean, some of it's real, but most of it is for show. Like, a lot of it is fake, and you could tell that they're faking it. And when you can see and read energy, it just pops out. I don't know how to tell it. You're like, I don't even, and then a lot of them look like nightclubs, which then you're just praising, they have your hands up and you're praising artificial lights and I mean, they look like nightclubs. And when you understand what Jesus really is and how it's, how your microcosm has to connect to the outer, the macrocosm, that the sun, SUN, that's a connection there. That's not by accident. That's not, when you start waking up, you realize that nothing is a coincidence. Not one thing. It's all synchronicities. And then you start reading patterns and numbers, and you're like, holy cow, this is really, really, this is really in depth, God. And you are really intricately putting us here for a purpose, right? So you start realizing that, and then that's another part of your awakening, right? So, but yes, this religious trauma book is really going to help people. It is, because it's going to tell you, like, everything about this reality is about God and Jesus. It is. And because everything is of the God of this world, and we were put here to try to seek our way back to him. That's the whole goal of this whole life, of the whole game. It's to come here in this matter as dense, and to have all the struggles and trials and tests and everything, and then push through that and find our God, our peace, our inner strength, and then it projects into the outer. And, it's really cool. It really is. And Jesus and God have not been portrayed. I mean, I say in this book, religion hijacked Jesus. They did. They hijacked his message, and then they corrupted it. They put a spin on it, corrupted the symbols, and they gave us a watered down version of Jesus. And then I said to be like him. No, Jesus was a badass. I'm going to make a shirt that says my Jesus is a badass, because he came back to break us out of the control system. And then he killed them for it, because nobody is ready. Not enough people were ready, but a lot of us are ready now. So we're like, hey, we are bringing it down, and things are going to change, and it's going to be amazing. But this book that I'm coming out with now, it is really going to help people, and it's going to help those in the church too, to understand how the people that have been rejected so badly by church and religion, and for crazy reasons and stupidity, and just haven't been accepted, and how, people kill themselves over religious trauma. So it's sad, and it's important for us to realize what each other's going through. So anyway, I just wanted to say I got another book coming.